was thinking about your pig that rolled out of a truck, and I saw that happen in real life one time. I was driving behind like a livestock truck, and I was on the phone with my sister who was living in LA at the time. So she's like, I just passed the Hollywood sign. I'm like, I just saw a pig fall out of a truck, and that sucker rolled, and then boop, got up on all fours and then just ran away. So she's out there living her best life somewhere now. Like, it's crazy. Hi there. Welcome to the Connecting KC podcast. I'm Rachel Kilmer, also known as Rach the Realtor on the internet, where I love, connecting all things KC. I'm a metro area real estate agent, retired sports reporter, and mom. And probably too old to call myself a TikToker, but honestly, that's how we got here. You can learn more at www.rachtherealtorkc.com. But this show is all about introducing you to all of the movers and shakers, interesting people, heartfelt stories, and funny quirks that make this vibrant community home. So let's get right to it with today's episode of Connecting KC. Today, I am so excited to welcome in Megan Brown. She has been unofficially rescuing animals her whole life, but began volunteering for an animal rescue organizations in 2012. She currently works for a 501c3 nonprofit called Chain of Hope, where she spends her days trying to alleviate the suffering of cats and dogs in Kansas City. Megan is a big proponent of advocating, educating, and being a voice for the voiceless. Megan, thank you for being here.
You're so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Megan and I have known each other basically our whole lives, and I feel like you've always been an animal lover. Are you living out your childhood dream right now, like getting to save the animals all day, every day?
Oh, for sure. I literally picked up a kitten off the road yesterday, and I was like, you're coming home with me.
That is so awesome. Do you struggle with like seeing the animals through your work and then being like, well, if no one else is going to take them, I guess I will. Like, are you always bringing animals home?
I'm good at bringing them home, healing them, and then sending them off to their forever homes because I'm like, more need help, so I have to let them go, even if it's hard.
Yeah. Aw, that is hard. So when you first started volunteering, working with animals, I remember seeing a bunch of pictures of you with pigs. Like, was that something specific you did? Like, tell me about your journey with kind of this nonprofit animal rescue world.
Yeah, I was always kind of volunteering, and then I started working at Great Plains SPCA early 20s, and they had a pig at the shelter, so my grandma adopted it because she's out in the country. And I got pregnant. I stopped for a couple years, and then we moved to the country. So I adopted a couple pigs from Kansas City Pig Rescue Network, and I volunteered a little bit out there, which is just, I went from dogs and cats to pigs. And then I lost a couple personal dogs, and then I started fostering, and then fostering went into working for Chain of Hope.
Mm-hmm. That's so cool. And tell me about Chain of Hope. What's their vision? What do they do on a day-to-day for people that aren't familiar with the org?
Yeah, so we're more, we're not a shelter. So we are actually located in an old daycare center in Raytown, and we house about 10 dogs. And our main goal is we go out 6 days a week to the inner city, Kansas City, and we feed and water the dogs that are on chains out there. We provide free supplies, flea and tick. We go out there and we rub the ear gel on them, and we basically do what the owners should be doing. But sometimes they can't afford it, and sometimes they don't care. So that's what we do. And we also are lucky enough to have a lot of donors where we're able to pay. I think we do over $15,000 a month in vet bills for the community. So people call us needing assistance with vet care, and we can help them with that.
Oh my gosh.
Spaying and neutering.
That's amazing. Yeah. Because I know I've seen people on Facebook or whatever that are like, I have this vet bill or I have to put my dog down. Like, I can't afford this. That's amazing.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just, and the people that we work with a lot of homeless camps, and they really just get a bad rap for not caring for their animals. And sometimes there are those, and we end up getting dogs from them because they can't care for them and they can't get them vaccinated. But most of them are genuinely very good pet owners. They get the sleeping bags and they eat before the owners eat.
Mm.
And it's really a special relationship that they have. So we try to, if we feel like it's not safe for that animal, we'll talk to them about it, but we really just try to keep them together and keep them both healthy.
That's so special. I bet you're right. Like, I'm sure that's one of the like closer relationship a human and an animal can have when you're
Yeah.
living like that together. And probably the animals are really happy because they're outside wandering around and like, not like in a
Yeah.
kennel all day like some house pets are. It's so interesting.
Yeah. We just always go into the camps and we're so happy to help, but in order to receive our help, we do require the animals to be spayed and neutered, and we'll pay for that too. So
Hmm.
we're like, no more babies,
Yeah.
and you get free supplies. It's like a win-win.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. So if someone's like driving around town, like this week, it's literally 100 degrees out and they see a dog chained
Yeah,
up outside and it's 100 degrees, you guys are the people to call of like, hey, we'll come
yeah.
provide what they need. Okay. Because if
And
you,
so we always say call animal control, but some animal controls aren't as good as others. And so if it's in Kansas City, we head out there and try to gain a relationship with the owner so we can go in their backyard and give them water and assistance.
yeah, so cool. Do you guys have relationships with the local like rescue groups or like the shelters, the other shelters around town? Like, what do you do if there's a dog that does need rehomed or, taken away from people?
Yeah. So most of our dogs in our shelter are animals that we've been working either for years trying to communicate to the owners, like, hey, a living on the chain, that's no life for your dog. If you surrender him to us, vet care, like we can get him adopted out. But then we do get some owner surrenders from bad situations, and it just is hit or miss. But when we find stray animals in Kansas City, we take them over to Kansas City Pet Project because they are contracted with the city to take in all the strays. And our relationship, I don't know if I should really talk about it, but our relationship with animal control isn't great because we don't get a lot of support with them.
Mhm.
The shelter side is awesome, and we definitely want people to go there and adopt animals because all the shelters are in crisis mode right now.
Mm.
So definitely adopt.
Yeah. Are you say shelters are in crisis mode right now? Is it worse right now for any particular reason, or is it just they're always in crisis mode because there's always too many pets?
It's crazy. I think, I mean, it's a lot of irresponsible owners, and then a lot of breeding. And I mean, the people think they can breed these dogs, and they're just these outrageous special breeds, and they try to sell them, and then they don't sell. So they give them away for free, and
Hmm.
then they get too big and they bring them to the shelter. And it just doesn't work out that way. So crisis mode is they don't have enough kennels for all the dogs being brought in.
Mm.
And unfortunately, they're having to euthanize, and nobody wants that.
Hmm.
That's the zero bottom of what people get into animal care for. So
Hmm. Yeah.
we definitely encourage, and if you can't adopt, fostering, I mean, it's so easy. They give you all the supplies. It's free. You just open up your house to a pet in need.
Hmm. Yeah. Do you guys do anything with other kinds of animals? It seems like you're mostly talking about dogs, but I assume cats are involved and any other kinds of animals.
Yeah, we so since our shelter, our daycare center, all the dogs there get their own little room. And so we don't really have a safe area for cats. We've had cats in the past, so mainly I'm the kitten person. I can take in kittens. I mean, I think we fixed 12 of our kittens this week, foster kittens, and they all got adopted. We yeah, it's mostly dogs and cats. We did rescue a pig over the winter, and it was kind of like a homeless crack house situation, and it burnt down, so they left, and they left the pig there. Um, so we remembered we had always been going over there for the dogs to provide
Mhm.
dog food. We went over there. Everyone was gone except for this pig. So we rescued him and took him to the Kansas City Pig Rescue Network. So
Aw.
his name's Wallace. He's still there. He's so cute.
So he's still waiting for a home, Wallace is?
Yes,
How big
yes,
is
Mr.
Wallace?
Wallace. He's pot belly, so I don't like 150. Um,
It's crazy.
he's just he'll be a perfect lawn ornament for somebody that just wants a pig that he still doesn't really like to be touched, probably because I'm assuming, wasn't treated the best.
Yeah.
But give him some grass and he's good to go.
What are pigs like as pets? Like in my neighborhood, these people had one and then it just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I was like, what are you guys going to do with that pig in your house? Like, how
Yeah,
are they are they house pets or do they always have to be outside?
I mean, some people like them as house pets, and it's crazy because they can like jump up on the couch. So they're just as smart as dogs. They sit, they can spin, they use the litter box.
Oh,
My pigs are outdoor. I had three potbelly pigs, and then I adopted my last one. She's a farm hog. She jumped off a slaughter truck on 435 when she was like 6 weeks old. So the pig rescue got her, and I was like, no, she's mine now. So she lives there. That's like the 1,500 pound pig compared to those
oh,
200 pound
fifteen
potbelly pigs.
hundred. You have
She's,
at your house. You have.
yeah, she's probably, I would say like 900 pounds now.
Oh
Um,
my gosh.
she's crazy. I mean, like gets into the ground and can rip tree roots up out of the ground
Oh
like it's
yeah.
nothing. And I'm like, but she's way sweeter than the potbellies.
Really?
They love belly rubs.
Uh-huh.
It's
Huh.
crazy.
So people that have their pigs in their house, they just basically act like dogs, essentially, except they're
Yes.
better because they're litter box trained.
Yeah. And I mean, pigs are destructive. So I think they like drywall.
Oh,
But some dogs like drywall. So
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
just depends on what
Wow.
you like.
Wow. Why do I suddenly want a pig now? Like,
I know, right? Like everybody thinks like the little teacup pigs, like they're non-existent. I'm just gonna smash that right now. But
yeah.
they still are really cute.
No, I'm
They're
a
cute.
big dog girly. Like I've had Mastiff and
Yeah.
Great Dane are the two dogs of my life. So like, give me a 150-pound pig just wandering around here. Like, sign me up.
Yeah. Right? And
That's
they
so
like
funny.
huff and talk to you when they see their owner, and yeah, it's crazy.
Oh
But
my
the pig rescue
gosh,
always has events, like family events, so
so
they
cute.
always want people to come out to snuggle their piggies.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. So cool. What are there any other like crazy animals that you've seen or that you guys have rescued or seen that people keep as pets?
We've been getting a lot of calls for chicken food, which is normal. Last week I took a call, and so typically people will call and say like, this is my address, the animals I have, this is what supplies I need. And she's like, I need a cage. So I called her and I'm like, oh, what size dog do you have? And she's like, oh, it's actually a gerbil. And I was like, oh, I mean, we don't have gerbil supplies. And she's like, well, it's like a big rat. And I'm like, is it a guinea pig? And she's like, oh, that's what it's called, guinea pig. And I was like, I can bring you a small dog kennel, but I don't think that's the proper. It's just, it doesn't matter what walk of life you are, how much money you have. People sometimes inappropriately get animals and they
Hmm.
can't care for them. And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
just research.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, I was at a store that I won't name that I love around Easter, and they were selling baby ducks. And I was like, people just come to the store and buy a baby duck? Like, what do they do
Yeah.
with it? Like, how do you even take care of a duck? Like how much does that enrage you to like see a store with like baby bunnies or baby ducks, like animals just available for people to just
Yeah.
buy with their groceries or whatever?
It's It's crazy. Because I'm like, what are you gonna do with that when it's a full-size duck? And
Mm-hmm.
like when I graduated high school, I actually worked at Petland, and I met really great people there, but I learned a lot. It kind of pushed me towards the way I am now because I saw firsthand like how it is with designer breeds and puppy mills, and that's kind of what got me into this. And I got a dog from there, and she was great. And when she passed, that's what got me into fostering. But
Mm.
sometimes you have to learn, like you have to see things firsthand to believe it. So I just would always recommend not buying live things from the store. It's just like,
As a general rule, yeah.
yeah, it's like how, yeah, I don't even know.
I
Like, where do
feel
they
you.
come from? I don't know.
Yeah, 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 for sure. I was thinking about your pig that rolled out of a truck, and I saw that happen in real life one time. I was
Oh, really?
driving behind like a, a livestock truck, and I was on the phone with my sister who was living in LA at the time. So she's like, "I just passed the Hollywood sign." I'm like, I just saw a pig fall out of a truck, and that sucker rolled, and then boop, got
Yeah,
up on all fours and then just ran away. So like
yeah,
that, she's out there living her best life somewhere now. Like it's
yeah.
crazy.
It's like I who it was a man that saved Tabitha. He pulled over, he saw her, he caught her on the highway, and she was covered in road rash, and she was
Oh,
lucky she didn't break anything.
mm-hmm.
And then she went to Kansas City Pet Project, and I believe it's the adoptions or the admissions manager. Her name's Tabitha, so that's why they named her that. And
Okay.
I typically just keep their names. And I'm like, dude, she's 6 weeks old and she's jumping out of trucks. I'm like, I like you. You're,
Yes, not messing around. I feel like there's a Disney movie waiting to be made about her.
yeah, right?
So you guys have an event coming up at Bar K for Chain of Hope.
Yes.
Tell me what's going on at this event. It looks like it's Barbie themed, perhaps.
Yes.
So yeah, tell me all
It
about it.
is. Let's see, my shirt. Here's Tina Hope Barbie. Um,
Cute.
so uh, so her name's Ashley. She adopted a puppy from us, and then that puppy had a crazy disease, and I'm not even going to botch the name, but ultimately he passed away, and so she adopted two kittens that I was fostering, and she put together this event. So it's called Night of a Thousand Barbies. It's at Bar K, and we're going to have a Barbie contest. So Ken, uh, Ken costume, Barbie costume, and then kid costume. They all win prizes. And then we have, I think it's over 30 silent auction items from these amazing Kansas City organizations that wanted to donate and help us. And then Bar K, I mean, it's full of dogs. You can bring your dog.
Mm-hmm.
They have booze if you like that, and they have food. And then a live band, Cat King, she's going to be there just singing her heart out for 3 hours straight. So it's going to be, and it's family friendly. So we want to see those kid Barbies too, for sure.
Love it. So that's Saturday, August 12th from 4 to 7 o'clock.
Yes.
And I assume Chain of Hope is benefiting from the auction, any
Yes.
proceeds that are made from the event.
Yes. And then we'll have, I believe on our website, chainofhope.org or chainofhopekc.org, we have a list of donation items that we could always use. So we'll have bins there too, that if you want to donate, come on right down and donate whatever you want. We'll take it.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
we can take, a lot of people don't think about this, but we can take open bags of dog and cat food because we can provide it to our outreach families. So just tape it. If your dog didn't like it, throw it in the bin because we'll
Mhm.
use it for sure.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome. So, being like a pet, rescue group here in Kansas City, is there anything particular about Kansas City that makes it challenging for caring for pets? Like our climate, we have all four seasons, so you guys have to think about the extreme cold and the extreme heat. Like, is there something about our Midwest culture that's not as pet oriented? Like, what challenges do you guys face operating here in Kansas City?
Um, Specifically to Kansas City, there is a spay and neuter ordinance. I think it's an ordinance. It's a law for pit bulls. It's just pit bulls, but all your pit bulls have to be spayed and neutered. That's not being enforced, which is kind of why we have that strain with animal control. And we're having a big breeding problem where people are breeding. We also have dog fighting issues here in Kansas
Do we
City, which a
really?
lot of people, yeah, they don't, it's not really talked about, but some of the dog fighting families, they're not the nicest people. So
Mm-hmm.
any type of threatening, that's not really followed through with animal control either. For the most part, if we go up to a house and we say, hey, we noticed your animal's outside on a chain, do you need an igloo? Do you need us to come by and feed it, give it water, straw? They're open to it. But for some reason, fixing your animals doesn't really click with people, and they think it's like less feminine or less masculine,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't true.
So
It's your
weird.
dog. It's still your dog. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you do other cities have, like, comparable size cities to Kansas City have, like, it feels like all dogs should be spayed and neutered, right? And like you have to have a license to breed. Is that a thing anywhere, or is that like crazy to ask for?
I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to have a license to breed. But I mean, if you don't have somebody to enforce it,
Right.
like we don't have the authority to enforce it. I can say that we don't have a relationship with animal control because it was with Kansas City, like the city, and then it moved over to Kansas City Pet Project. And we don't want that role either. We like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
We like the relationships we have with people because we are allowed to go in their backyard and care for their dogs when they're not home. Like they trust us and we trust them that they're going to do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there shouldn't, we don't need more puppies.
Yeah.
No matter how cute they are, and kittens, it's just not needed
Mm-hmm.
because there's a lot. And now doodles were huge 5 years ago and they're still huge, but now they're slowly starting to fill up the shelters. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
we got to stop somewhere.
With the trends and yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. Very interesting. Well, that all sounds like such interesting and rewarding work. And I know there's
Hmm.
probably a lot of happy families out there that are grateful to have that someone else messed up with their pet so they got to enjoy them for the rest of their
Yeah.
life. So it's really
Yeah.
awesome. Okay, two more questions. I ask both of these to everyone that comes on the show. So first is, what is a great meal you've eaten in Kansas City recently? Like you went out to eat and dinner just like blew you away, or like a great breakfast or whatever.
So I'm vegan.
Okay.
My last really good meal, I always go back to Blue Sushi because they have the best vegan sushi rolls.
Do they? Yeah.
But Littlest Bake Shop, they're in Brookside. I had their biscuits and gravy and then strawberry matcha. It was really, really good. So I'll go with Littlest Bake Shop.
Okay. I love it. I haven't had a vegan answer yet, so that's fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Love it. Okay. And then last question is, where can everyone find you? What's your Instagram? Where can they find you? And also Chain of Hope.
So I'm on Instagram at the Brown Fosters. It's just my fosters that I currently have, or if I don't have fosters, my pigs. And then Chain of Hope. I feel like our Instagram got hacked, so it's like chain underscore of underscore hope underscore Casey. Um, Sometimes we're on TikTok, but you being in Oak Grove, I'm sure you understand the internet service. I can't upload anything out there, so I try when I can.
Yes.
And then we're on Facebook. I believe it's just Chain of Hope.
Perfect. I went and followed you guys on all of them because I want to see all the animal content, especially the
Yes.
giant pig. I'm here for it. So,
Oh, yeah. Only thing.
Love it. Love it. Well, Megan, thank you so much for coming on. Everyone, make sure you go out to the Chain of Hope fundraising event at Bar K there on August 12th, and we'll see you then. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Thank you.